Law enforcement sources right now, authorities are carrying out searches at properties associated with P. Diddy. This is all part of a federal investigation into human trafficking.
And according to those inside the federal courtroom yesterday, Combs was all smiles. And at one point, he turned towards the gallery.
It's actually an elaborate tunnel.
But listen, do not entertain none of this nonsense and nothing over the phone. I'm gonna need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes. The what? All the boxes left over from the pizza. Make sure you recycle the plastic like we talked about.
Diddy's trial revealed some truly shocking truths. Some were long rumored and finally confirmed, while others were far worse than anyone imagined. Today, we're breaking down the disturbing secrets that came to light during Diddy's trial.
For whatever reason, the feds didn't present a lot of stuff that would have made sure that he was gone forever, rather than just being gone to November. And it's not going to be November. See, that sentencing is coming. Maybe that's really the problem. Maybe that's why people got so much to say about whistleblowers and truth tellers. Maybe y'all need to find a way to drag us all the way down and to drag us all the way to filthy. You think that that's going to be the thing that springs the diddler from the pigeon coop he's being held in. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. After October 3rd, there's going to be a lot of people who's going to be quaking in their boots. There's going to be a lot of knees knocking. Because the longer he has to stay in there, people are going to wonder, how long is it going to be before he turns into his dear old dad and just starts snitching on everybody?
The first major shock in Diddy's trial came when a former bodyguard testified that he personally saw Diddy hand over $100,000 in cash to buy and destroy a USB drive containing hotel security footage of him and Cassie from a disturbing night. The bodyguard claimed Diddy counted the money himself to ensure the deal went through, but despite the payment, the footage eventually resurfaced and became a key piece of evidence in the case. Reports say jurors leaned forward as this revelation dropped, sensing its impact, though Jaguar Wright insists that most of the real evidence never even made it to court.
His job of people in the Shluminati is to pretend like none of it's real, to pretend like none of it happens, to keep the secret, to make it all seem like, oh no, that's not happening, that's not happening, that's not happening. Isn't that exactly what's happening now?
Sorry.
HSI runs up onto multiple properties, and they collected all kinds of things that never made it to that courtroom, did it? Not one mention of a firearm, not one mention, even though some of the testimony said that he carried firearms. The way Kid Cudi's car, the way that whole situation happened, I mean, it was on court document. People were sitting there talking about it, and they still trying to act like that never happened.
In fact, the case appeared so strong that even a Homeland Security agent took the stand and testified against Diddy, adding serious weight to the allegations and signaling that the investigation had uncovered far more than anyone expected.
Security agent that raided Diddy's Miami house is testifying against him. He didn't get a lot of time on the stand today because court is about to end, but we will go ahead and talk about what he said, and then I will add these parts into his full testimony tomorrow. They asked this Homeland Security agent what time they raided Diddy's Miami home, and they said after 3 p.m. They said, why did you raid it so late? And they said, because we were tipped off that Diddy and his family were about to leave the country. And I'm sure you guys remember when they raided Diddy's houses, he wasn't there. They actually caught him at the airport getting ready to get on his private jet. And this is when Homeland Security arrested one of Diddy's right-hand men, Paul, for narcotic offenses. Then they asked this Homeland Security agent what they all found at Diddy's Miami property. And he talked about the weapons with defaced serial numbers being loaded and all of that information. He also said he found toys, if you get what I mean, and he also found
Kid Cudi's testimony completely froze the courtroom. He revealed that his friendship with Cassie triggered a chain of events that went far beyond music industry drama. He described how his beloved custom Porsche mysteriously exploded in his driveway after someone threw a Molotov cocktail, a moment he said he'd never forget. But that wasn't the only incident. Cudi also claimed Diddy once broke into his home, destroyed his wrapped Christmas gifts, and left the entire living room in chaos. He admitted he was extremely hesitant to testify, knowing Diddy's reputation for retaliation.
I hated every minute of it. Like I did not want to do it. But then I thought about, when I was up there, I'm here to support Cassie. And, Cassie is my friend, and I love her and I want to see her do well. When I saw her get married, I was so happy for her, that she found someone, her person. When I saw that she was having kids, I was like, oh, this is so awesome. You know what I mean? Like, I've always just wanted to see her, thrive and do well and be happy, because I know she was living a nightmare. And I just was there to support her. That's what kind of gave me peace with it when I sat down in that chair. It was just about, damn, I don't want to do this, to being like, oh man, I gotta hold homegirl down and
According to Cody, these incidents weren't random accidents at all. They were deliberate warnings meant to send a message and keep people silent.
It was crazy, man. Man. In the moment, it was just crazy. I had a hard time understanding if it was reality. I was like, am I in a movie? What the is going on? But it was just chaotic and intense. And I wasn't I was already out of my mind dealing with my own personal. So, I was really just okay, I just was willing to walk into the fire and so it was just I always thought about it before all this stuff happened and it came out again. I just, over the years, I just thought about it as just some wild that happened in my rock and roll life. You know what I'm saying? It was just some crazy shit that happened.
Imagine being at the peak of your career and suddenly facing chaos like this. The jurors weren't just listening, they were stunned. These weren't rumors anymore, they were sworn statements made under oath. Then came another jaw-dropping moment when Capricorn Clark, who had worked closely with Diddy during the Cassie years, took the stand and shared her own shocking account.
Testimony resumed today in the federal trial of music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. And today, one of the Combs' former assistants took the stand.
Okay, Fox 5's Lisa Evers was inside the courtroom. And Lisa, it was another day of intense testimony.
It was definitely intense testimony, Natasha and Steve. Former Diddy aide Capricorn Clark was on the stand talking about violence she witnessed, as well as the hardship that she endured after she was fired by Combs in 2012. She broke down in tears when she recalled how she dedicated her life to Sean Diddy Combs and considered herself a type of protector.
On the stand, Capricorn Clark recounted a terrifying moment that left her fearing for her life. She testified that Diddy forced her into a car at gunpoint after discovering she hadn't told him about Cassie spending time with Kid Cudi. According to Clark, Diddy told her directly that they were going to kill Cudi that night. As she continued her testimony, the details became even more disturbing.
This might just get even crazier than Diddy being charged with the kid of Capricorn Clark. Diddy's fourth victim is a female who is a prior employee and actually a former assistant of Diddy. Now, this former assistant is going by the name Mia as her pseudonym, and they asked Cassie Ventura if she knew this person, and she said yes, this is one of Diddy's former assistants. And we know Capricorn Clark is one of the female former assistants that used to work for Diddy back when Diddy was with Cassie. And even Cassie's mom confirmed that she knew who Mia was, the former assistant. And it doesn't end there. They asked one more person if they knew this assistant named Mia, and it was Dawn Burchard. Guess who was the former assistant still at that time during Danity Kane? It was Capricorn Clark. So not only is Diddy being hammered right now on the RICO because the arson connected to Kid Cudi and the break-in of Kid Cudi's home is connected to a kidnapping. Both the arson and the kidnapping fall underneath that RICO charge. But I also think victim number 4 is gonna be Capricorn Clark.
She described that car ride as the longest and most terrifying moment of her life, unsure of what would happen next. The trial then took an unexpected turn when the legendary Prince's name was brought up. Cass's former assistant testified that she and Cassie once attended a private performance at Prince's home, a night that should have been magical but turned dark fast. According to her, Diddy lost control outside and began lashing out so violently that Prince's own security had to step in to stop it. Just imagine that, at Prince's house, surrounded by music legends, security was forced to intervene. Then came another shocking story from one of Diddy's former assistants, who described being trapped on a private jet as chaos unfolded mid-flight. He said Diddy, holding a glass of whiskey, erupted while Cassie shouted, "Isn't anybody seeing this?" The assistant testified that the entire crew froze in fear, leaving Cassie to face it alone. Jaguar Wright later explained how Diddy managed to act this way for so long, claiming the culture of violence in the industry protected him from consequences.
Go to Diddy parties, which is where people like me step in. To walk mother out! Cause ain't nobody stopping me when I come. Why would they talk about it? Who is there to go to? Who's gonna help them? What HR department do you know of that works for any of these labels?
Yeah.
When have you ever heard of a sexual harassment suit being publicly acknowledged in the entertainment industry at all? Never. Not in entertainment.
Tupac. Remember that one?
He was the only one.
Yeah.
You saw how that turned out.
Yeah.
No, guilty.
That's why they do it. To make you an example. To remind you what they're willing to do to keep things the way they want them. It's intimidation. Can't go to the authorities. They're all bought and paid for. You could try to get a special prosecutor, but they'll just pay somebody to reassign him to another case.
If this trial didn't already sound like a Hollywood movie, the Suge Knight chapter took it there. A former assistant testified that a late-night trip to a Los Angeles diner in 2008 nearly reignited the infamous East Coast-West Coast feud. According to the testimony, tensions exploded when Diddy and Suge Knight unexpectedly crossed paths, and what started as a simple dinner quickly turned into a volatile confrontation that could have sparked another industry war.
How does it go on for so long? You know, when we were on the street, we didn't get a day's rest. I mean, the government was all over us. The FBI is all over us. They got investigations on us. They got informants. They got surveillance equipment.
He was not cutting you off, but he was an informant for years.
Was he really?
Yeah. That's why when people was like, oh, he's going to run, oh, he's not. It's the reason why these type of people get caught up. They always been telling them they bigger than the law because they part of the law, you know? And as you know, all these people get...
According to her testimony, Diddy spotted Suge Knight nearby, panicked, and rushed back to his car. She claimed he armed himself with not one but 3 guns, ready for what he believed could turn into a deadly showdown. Fortunately, nothing happened that night, but the thought of a random encounter nearly sparking violence had the entire courtroom buzzing. For many, it was a chilling reminder of the long-standing tension between Diddy and Suge Knight, something Gene Deal later said stemmed from Diddy's deep resentment over Suge's past involvement with his ex.
So Eric Sermon, he was the reason why, Diddy was beating Misa. Yeah, that's crazy, man. I ain't know that, man. And she was talking to Suge Knight at one point, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We had just got through, I think we were looking for Kim. And Kim wasn't home. So if Kim not home, we don't go home. So we jump into club after club after club until Diddy finds her. So then he'll have the babysit call her and find out where she at or whatever, this, that, and the third. And then we would have to go to the club that she at. And he wasn't even, he never stopped dating Kim. No, I don't care who he was with. It could have been with J-Lo. It could have been with whoever. He never stopped dating Kim. Kim couldn't date or be with nobody. She just couldn't. So now, this damn wolf, I guess he was holding this magazine in his pocket or whatever, and it was like a brochure or something like that, but it was Death Row. And it was Suge Knight with Misa. Now, when I told this story, nobody believed that, because they don't believe shit I say until it comes out in pictures or videos. It had Suge Knight next to Misa. Suge had the baby Misa had Justin in her arms, and Suge Knight was just like holding Misa, I think like this, holding Misa. It was a friendly picture. But on the bottom capture of it, it said, what the East Coast won't take care of, the West Coast will. Yo, Wolf showed that to Puff. You could see veins coming through his forehead, through his neck and everything. He blew a stack. It was crazy. So, Misa was everything but a child of God. But you gotta realize, Puff wasn't giving her the money that she needed to take care of Justin properly.
Jaguar Wright also backed up Suge Knight's long-held belief that Diddy might be a federal informant, pointing out that even Diddy's father was reportedly connected to federal operations, a detail that, according to her, explains how Diddy managed to avoid serious consequences for so long.
Did y'all see when they interviewed Dapper Dan about Diddy?
I haven't seen that one. Please.
They ran into Dapper Dan in Harlem and they asked him what he thought about what was going on with Diddy and if he knew Diddy. And I love Dapper Dan for this. He said, I grew up with his parents. He said, and what's going on with him has been going on long before him. Now, his father was a government snitch and a bad actor in the criminal world altogether. But there's whispers in the streets of Harlem that Diddy's mother isn't alive. Not his biological mother, but that woman is his aunt.
Whoa.
There are whispers.
Wait a minute.
There are whispers.